Okay, people of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of 7 on Twitter and YouTube, people are elsewhere on the internet. My soaps locate PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. And today I am coloring some extensions, and I thought I'd take you with me. I took my Eero and poured it in this bowl, so that way I give it a good stir. And what I'm going to do next, I got pins. You can also use T-pins, but this is what it's looking like. Okay, I have some tracked hair. This is 8 inches from Eunice. It's a wavy texture, but it's going to be curly when I'm done. Looks like that. All I did was take the tracks, cut it into the sections I wanted based on, you know, one part of my head to the other where I wanted to put the clips in. You're going to need wood clips for this project. Get them at Sally's. Standard wood clips that are used for wigs and clip-ins. They look like that. Well, let's get closer so you can see. They're about $3 for 12 of them. Okay, so what I did was I used my ion cream oil lightener to lighten the hair to pale blonde. Now, and this is my quilter's cut and press mat, the one that's real old that the cutting board kind of popped off of. I never threw it away. I just went ahead and saved the pieces, because even though it's in 2 pieces, it can still hold pins and stuff like that when you're measuring out fabric. So yeah, it's 18 inches, so it's a good size for small projects. So when I want to actually use it as a cutting board, I just go get that piece, and when I want to use it for small projects like this, I just go ahead and, you know, use this section. It just made more sense than gluing it back together or buying another one. So what you do is you put the color on one side, then you flip it over and put the color on the other side. Sometimes take the brush back and forth so that way you can make sure it's penetrating all layers. Oh, and on top of the cutting mat, I have what do you call it, a space sheet. What do you call these? A space bag. Yeah. Where you put stuff in and then vacuum all the air out. I use that for my hair and stuff a lot because, well, it's big enough to hold, you know, even the longest limbs, but you can roll it up into a small section. So that's why I do that. Now I'm going to take this one and put it right on top. I'm going to use a pin as an anchor. It's going to be temporary because this will have to be flipped. Okay. And extra color on the layer that's already there is not going to matter because it's just going to give it a richer look. Now the first thing I do is I hit the roots. And since this is tracked hair and it hasn't been sealed, I just literally cut it. Some of the hair is going to shed off from the ends, and that's fine. Just pull that out, drop that in the trash can, and keep going. Now, as you can tell, I got the roots really good. Whether the rest of it gets done or not, the root's done. So then when I flip it over and go to the other side, then I can make sure the rest of it is saturated. See, that's the good thing about these space bags. If any color, you know, gets in the crevices or whatever, you just literally scoop that right back into this format, and it kind of saves you from having to, you know, clean it up off your towels or whatever. And then I'm just going to flip this over, get it close to the top. Put a pin in there. Where did the other pin? Yeah. Ah, there it is. That pin just blended right on in. I'm putting this pin in at an angle so that way it can give me a little leverage, and then a little hold. And then I'm going to take a pin and put it right through the center here as an anchor. Now, as you can tell, you could see little spots right here where the roots didn't get covered. That's because I did the other side. So now we're going to do this side and make sure this side is saturated. That's why when you make the little sections for coloring your hair, you do both sides. A lot of people will put color on one side, then go to the next section. No, you put color on every inch. On the first side, when you're parting your hair and you put color here, you want to put color on that side. Then when you make the next part, then you put color here and the next side. That's how you get rid of those gaps. So yeah. So put the color on the root, because even if the ends fade out over time when you're using them, then you only have to color the ends. You won't have to worry about the roots because it's completely saturated with the color. When I'm done, this will be a perfect match to my hair, because I made sure that I bleached it or lightened it, because this is not a bleach product, to the same level as my hair, and I'm using the same color. And this is hair that's literally the same texture. Well, it's wavy, my hair is curly, but yeah, it'll be curly when I'm done. Ah, look, there's a spot I missed. And that's why you go back and forth every now and then to see if all the sections have been saturated, and then add more color as needed. And then I brush it down for smoothness so I can go to the next section. Give me a second to get rid of that little stray hair. And I shouldn't have did this on a towel. Let me fix this glove. Now I'll just pick it up very carefully at the edges there. smoother the hair is, the better this works. So every now and then brush it, and that also gets rid of that little scraggly from the edges there. So that won't get tangled up in my tint brush. Otherwise known as a perm brush, depending on who you ask. So, yeah. I'm just gonna hold it down this side and then pin it after I flip it. And let me put this on here so that way I don't have to worry about it getting on my mattress or whatever. So I want the roots to be heavily saturated. And when I press down on top of the track like I'm doing, the color that's under it will also pick up, so that way if I don't get a good coverage at the root area, when I flip it over, it gets covered anyway. So, yeah. This is just one tube of Arrow, and I still have all of that. And if that's not enough, well, I do have a backup tube, but that's the one that's going to be saved for doing my roots when it's time. But seeing how I don't even have an inch of new growth at the moment, that's going to be there for a long time. I might have several other projects before that, and then just simply buy some more as I need it. So, yeah. And the challenge wig that was dyed Raspberry Twist by Dora, it is not trying to accept the bleaching treatment or lightening treatment at the moment. So yeah, that might have to just stay that color, and then I'll just get a different wig or make a different wig that's a light enough blonde that I can turn it into Arrow. That's my plan anyway. It's not a requirement for me to have a pink wig. I have pink hair. And then the clip-ins give me a little length in the back for certain hairstyles when I'm, you know, not wearing my hair curly and in a fro. So yeah. Let's get rid of that little teeny. Now, the last time I did this with a, well, different color obviously, I basically had sewn the clip-ins onto the track hair, and then all I had to do was color the track hair. But the color got, you know, all into the little crevices of the clips, and you know, some of them tried to rust because of that, and yeah, I'm just gonna do the hair and then sew the clips later. Okay, now, as you can tell, after pinning, all I gotta do is paint the color on at the roots. I don't have to hold it down unless I want to. Yeah, it does kind of smell like cranberries. But it smells kind of like a chemical cranberry instead of a natural cranberry. There we go. And then any extra, I'll just go ahead and smoosh into all the layers. and then it'll process for, it says 30 minutes or longer. I'm just gonna leave it for the whole day. Because I have stuff I have to do. And my daughter's car broke down, so she has a couple of places she needs to go. So I'm going to avail myself for her purposes to take her, you know, basically running errands. And that's fine. It's using up all my gas, but I don't care. Yeah. Because if locations get to be too far away or whatever, I'm sure she'll give me gas money. And if not, I can make the informed decision I'm not willing to drive that far because our gas is low. You know, because life happens. I mean, she's talking about getting a rental car. And you have to put gas in those, so she shouldn't be upset if I say, hey, I need gas money. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wish they fixed the air conditioning in this place. I really should put on my dye shirt since I'm, you know, working with dye. But this is still an outfit I don't really care about, so, you know, because they're pajamas. So if I get a big old spot of pink on it, I'm not going to really sweat it because it's not my regular clothes. But with the temperature acting stupid, it's 80 degrees in here, flannel pajamas is not the ideal outfit to have on, basically. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And this should be the next to the last one because I'm going to cut 5 of them. Well, 5 or 6, I think it's 5. Which is good because I'm quickly running out of the Eero. Yep, it was just the 5. And that's the longest one. Because that's the one that's going to go like that. So, most of it is going to go on this section. And this hair is a little rough because after I lightened it, I washed it. I didn't use pink shampoo because of some fact I didn't have any. I used this moisturizing smoothie shampoo I have by Suave that always feels dry to me, but it's what I had. And I have a lot of it because when I bought stuff and found out I didn't like it for my hair, well, I didn't continue to use it on my hair, so now basically I'm stuck with a whole bunch of it. So after I'm done with this and after the color process and everything, then I'll just go ahead and put 14-in-1 on it, the same as I do with my natural hair. And that will provide moisture and smoothness and get rid of that roughness that was caused by that particular shampoo. Yeah. Oh, also after I add the clips to it, I'm going to give it a good brush out so that way, because when I make clip-ins, when I make clip-ins, I don't just sew the clips right here. I fold those over and then I sew in the clips, so that way it's a smooth edge, and at that point it won't frizz or ravel or shed because the ends will be secure. I also put fray check on the edges right before I do that, so that way none of this brush out occurs. See what I'm talking about? So That's just part of the prep process. Some of this hair is a little orangey. So some of it didn't come out completely blonde, but it's okay because neither did my roots. Some of it has that slight orange effect, and that's fine because that means the color is congruent. A little purple shampoo, it'll do the same thing that my hair did, and you know, behave. So yeah, I still have to buy some purple shampoo. Just not at this exact moment, you know what I mean? Because unlike my hair, which will fade after a few washes or whatever, these are clip-ins. So basically the color you get is the color that's going to stay for a long time because you don't use clip-ins continuously. You just use it for whatever hairstyle you're going for at the time, you know. But I still treat my clip-ins the same way I treat my hair, which is why they last so long when I use them. Yeah. Side one, done. Time to flip. And as you can tell, there are some little blind bits sticking through. That's because you still have to do that side. That's why I don't understand when people put color on just one side of the hair and then they're surprised when the color didn't go all the way through because you didn't put color on the under. Every hairdresser tell you put color on the top and then on the bottom. But you have a few stubborn souls that will say, I'm going to do this my way. And then they complain that their way didn't work out. I used to be one of those stubborn people. And I'm going to do it my way so that way this product is stretch. No, sometimes you might need 2 things of color as opposed to 1 thing of color. And color is not something you cheap out on. Because then, when it doesn't work out, you're sitting there going, this product didn't do everything I thought about. No, the product did what it's supposed to do. You didn't. If you're told you're going to need 2 things of color because you got long hair, go ahead and get 2 things of color. In fact, if your hair is longer than shoulder length, go ahead and get 3. I have a friendly little bit of advice for people coloring their hair. That's like when you see people go, oh, I'm going to color my hair and blah, 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 but the hair is this short. You need more than 1 thing of color just for the average size head. I mean, have you ever noticed when you buy box dyes, they give you this little teeny box and that's supposed to color a whole head of hair and it doesn't, so then they complain that they had to get 2 boxes. That's because those box dyes only give you like half the amount you need. So when you get, you know, real color that's not in a box, you have more coverage, but you're still going to need 1 or 2 tubes. I just assume because, you know, I got a dome, I got a big head, and I have a lot of hair, and it shrinks 50%, so even when you see hang time, there's more hair than that there. So I just assume I'm going to need minimum 2 tubes of color, and sometimes it's 3. So basically, when I buy color for doing an entire head of hair, you know, a whole fresh color, not just retouching the roots or whatever, I'll go ahead and get 5. And then if I don't use the 5, hey, guess what? I have enough for my retouches. See how that works out? Because the stuff ain't gonna spoil unless you mix it up. And then when you mix it up, you have a certain amount of time for activation if you're using a color that has a, you know, that needs a developer. But if you're using a pure pigment like this, you don't even need a developer. You just save it for when you need it. Look at that. There's a single dark black strand of hair that apparently didn't want to turn blonde or pink. So let's take that right on out of there. Ah, well. So now I have bright pink on my leg. But it's all good. Shower, take that right on out of there. And I figured do this right before I go into the shower in case I needed to wash up anything that got everywhere. So yeah. Fortunately, Eero does not stain your showers or stainless steel sinks and all that, which is one of the reasons why I continue to use it. That and the fact that it doesn't wash out, doesn't bleach out. This is faded. I mean, we're going on 4 weeks and it's still just as bright and vibrant as the day I put it in. There we go. Now let's clear off the brush. And the container's empty. And I'm just going to hang this off of my trash can so that way I can get to it in a minute. And if it falls in, it's not getting on my floor and all that. So, yeah. Now I'm just going to smoosh this in. Make sure there's no missed spots. Especially at the root area. And then any spots that was just hanging over here, that's color I could just redeposit. Now here's the fun part about a space bag. You can concentrate to get that room to percolate or process or whatever, you know what I mean. Then I'm going to take a Kroger bag and put it on top of it. But in the meantime, no mess. Ta-da! The only oopsie is right there on my leg. And I can take a baby wipe. Baby wipes are amazing, y'all. When you're working with resin and some resin gets wherever, as long as it's wet, baby wipes will completely remove the resin. And just like that, it completely removed all that pink from my skin. It's all on there and none on here. Baby wipes are amazing. Even if you don't have a kid, get some of these. They are great for cleaning up little things in a pinch. So yeah. In the meantime, this has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube. People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps look at PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. And I'm finna go cover this with a Kroger bag or some kind of plastic. Let it sit there for a long, long time. And then rinse and wash it out as, you know, per normal. When you rinse hair color, use cold water. Trust me on that. Cold water. Cold water until the water runs clear. Then you go ahead and shampoo it if you want. I won't. I'm going to rinse until the water runs clear, and then put my conditioner on it, comb through, and then put it in the container that I'm going to use for storage. And then every now and then I'm going to use it for, you know, putting in my hair. That's my process. Bring it back. And if you use a Kroger bag, like I'm doing here, mainly because I have a bunch of them, turn that inside out. That way, when the plastic goes on the color or the chemicals or whatever, you don't end up with, because bleach and color will dissolve ink, so if you put it on there with that raw surface of the printing and the ink, you're going to end up with that on your color. So yeah, you don't want that. So make sure that it's facing opposite, so that way it doesn't transfer. That's the word I was looking for, transfer. Inks will transfer to your stuff in a non-fun way. Let's see. So, yeah. That's why I always turn the bags inside out. Unless I'm working on a wig head, and then I just put it on like that, because then the outside is automatically on the inside, shall we say. Now that's going to sit there for however long. Actually, that took a long time. Actually, I think I'm going to take, I'm going to put that over there in the corner, so, well, you can't see me now, huh? Hold on. My ring light is tangled up on the cord. Okay. There, that's better. But I think I'm going to take it and put it over there in the corner, so that way I don't knock it over when I'm knocking about in the apartment, because, I mean, my kitchen's right there, the microwave's right there, the coffee maker's right there. That's my room where I do a lot of editing, video watching, you know, playing on my tablet, and then my TV's right here. I will knock that over because I'm a natural born klutz. So if I move it somewhere where I'm not going to be, you know, and let it process, that will be beneficial. Hold on. 84 degrees in here, and the air conditioner, of course, is still set at 60 something. I tried setting it at 72, but with it not working properly, the temperature kept being 90 in here, so I tried to take it down to a lower level. I think I'm just going to buy myself a portable room air conditioner or a fan or something, so that way I have some kind of circulation going on until they finally fix this thing. Yeah, because even though we have someone that's going, oh no, I felt airflow, your air is working fine, when it's not. That way I'm not sitting in a puddle of my own goo, sweating everywhere because the maintenance person doesn't want to, you know, get on his job. Anyway, I'm not going to fuss about that. I have breakfast there. I have a fresh thing of coffee. I have that processing, and then I got to get dressed and go pick up my daughter and my grandson and cart them across the city for whatever errands that they got going on, or just to hang out. This has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Bye now. And another reason why I wanted to make sure those extensions are processed today is because tomorrow's my birthday and I'm going to have pink everywhere. My natural hair is going to be down. Those are going to be added, and no one's going to be able to tell the difference. They're just going to think, hey, she's wearing her hair down, because my hair is actually this long. But the problem with that is my hair is also very curly. So, you know, when you have 50% shrinkage, the only thing people see is your hair stopping right here. At least with those, it'll stop at the length of my natural hair without having to straighten it, without having to blow dry it, without having to flat iron it. It'll just be there. So, shh, don't tell nobody. This has been People7. Bye now.